you all for being here. I was saying this morning to someone that this is momentous. It's important. It's infrastructure. And while it may not command the same attention that shopping centers, hotels, auto malls, development such as that does, infrastructure is obviously critical. It's critical to our quality of life. It's critical to everything that we do. And it's easy to take it for granted, but we all need to remember its importance. So today I would like to introduce our distinguished guest, and we have some real important people here today and want to honor them. From the city of El Monte, of course, our mayor, Andre Quintero. We have, of course, Mayor Pro Tem Juventino J. Gomez. Council Member Jerry Velasco. Our City Clerk Jonathan Hawes. Our City Treasurer Richard Thomas. We also have the Honorable Edwin Chow, Assemblyman 49th District. We also have the Honorable Blanca Rubio, Assemblywoman 48th District. Representing the Honorable Grace Napolitano, Congresswoman 32nd District, is Bob Pence. And Angelica Hernandez, representing the Honorable Senator Dr. Ed Hernandez, from the 22nd District. This wind is really getting to me. I don't think I'm going to blow away, though. Thank you for your patience as I fumble through the papers here. Blame the wind. Of course, from our city staff, we have our city attorney, Dave Gondak, who will be speaking in a minute and giving you some background on this project. Parks and Recreation Director for the City of El Monte, Alexander Lopez. And our Public Works and Utilities Director, Elaine Jang. And early on, I saw Ms. Shervin Milani from the Regional Water Control Board. She was here and want to recognize her for attending. She's actually doing some business next door at the Albertson site. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Dave Gondak to give some background on this. And also, before I do that, I want to recognize Ed Chavez from the Upper San Gabriel Valley Water District. And Dr. Ken Manning, also from the Water District. Thank you so much. And Dave, where are you, Dave? There he is, waiting in the wings. Thank you.
Yeah, waiting in the wind. Thank you. Good morning, honorable guests, members of the public. Let me begin by making a full correction. I'm not the city attorney. I'm a deputy city attorney. But I have lived with this project for a long time, on and off, and I can say that if a successful project and other people are going to explain how and why this is a successful project, but if successful projects have many parents, then this one has a lot of parents, step parents, crazy aunts, cousins. This is a project that had many hands to let it happen. Beginning with the city council, the operably and cooperating parties who were responsible for paying for the lion's share of the cost of this facility. At the order of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the City of El Monte, City Attorney, former City Attorney, Clark Mosley was very instrumental in making this cooperative project a reality. The Water Quality Authority, Ken Manning, they've been with this project every inch of the way. The City of Rosemead has also been assisting, involved with this project. There are water wells, extraction wells for the deep unit that provides raw water for this end of the facility. There's water production wells in the city of Rosemead, Public Street right away. Very, very cooperative effort by the city of Rosemead, the residents of the city of Rosemead to make that happen. So this project has been in the works for a long time. This treatment facility where the city of Monte was proposed to operate a facility once it was constructed and installed and testing had been completed. This was an idea that was formulated by Mr. Mosley in consultation with the operative unit work parties. And it's been a long process. It's involved a lot of city staff people. Members of the city council have been there every inch of the way. Former redevelopment director Marjorie Cruz was there at the beginning. Others, including Pat Dennis, Bob Grantham, have also been extensively involved in this project. And then most recently, all the city staff played a really important role in making this happen. I just want to thank her especially for being here and getting us over the hump of completing this project. City staff, water department people, all the way back to Greg Hall, Ryan Lee, other city staff, the water department have been involved with this project every inch of the way. Our city employees and the water department are responsible for operating the system. They've been trained, they continue to be trained, they're well qualified to do this. Safety is uppermost, and we're going to provide high quality water to El Monte residents. So I'd like to turn this over to Elaine to talk about some of the technical elements, what we've been able to accomplish, what we still may need to do. This project, as the city manager indicated, is infrastructure. This project has been at the heart of a lot of infrastructure planning for the city for the past 15 years. Gibson Mariposa Park includes elements that accommodate this facility. There's a pipeline that goes under Gibson Mariposa Park. There's ARA money from the Obama stimulus that's in Arden Drive, and that was planned, and those facilities were installed to accommodate the transfer of water 9 years ago. So this has been a big project for the city. I think the city council is to be commended, the community is to be commended for sticking with it, and the regional cooperation that's been shown for this project is just outstanding. So I just want to thank everyone for making this project possible. Thank you.
What Dave meant to say was that I'd be doing the nerdy part of the presentation, so bear with me. And I just want to give you an overview of the components of the project. And starting with, a large amount of contaminants were deposited and impaired the deep zone groundwater, approximately about 300 to 400 feet below ground, after many years of manufacturing activities. The plume, as experts call it, is largely located in the city of Rosemead. So the Arden groundwater treatment project installed 3 extraction wells to pull the impaired water out of the ground. And networks of pipes were installed to carry the pumped water to the facilities that we're standing on today. To be treated by the carbon vessels, the big cylindrical tanks that you see to your right. Once treated, the water is then pumped into the city of El Monte's public water system to serve approximately 22,000 residents. The capital improvement component of the project took over 10 years to develop and complete. The State Water Resource Control Board's Division of Drinking Water has a guidance policy for direct domestic use of extremely impaired sources. Through this rigorous process by the division, the treated water is now permitted to enter into the city of El Monte's public water system. The design of the treatment project will be pumping water out of the ground continuously at about 600 gallons per minute. And at this rate, the EPA anticipates that the amount of contaminants will be removed in approximately 15 to 20 years. The plume of the impaired water is expected to be cleaned up. Now, nearly 20 years ago, Those that were involved at the inception of the project were really forward in their thinking, in my opinion. So instead of spending time pointing at culprits for the cause of the plume, the focus was on solutions to clean up the basin. It is amazing to me throughout the years that the companies, the agencies, and the honorable governmental officials never wavered in the goal to clean up San Gabriel Valley. I haven't been on the project as long as Dave Gondek, but it doesn't take long or difficult to see that for those who were and who are a part of the project, they were motivated and had the public's best interests at heart, and I'm proud to be a part of the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. And before I invite our mayor up to say a few words, I also want to recognize Brian Urias. He's also in attendance from the Water District. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Mayor?
So I just want to, my comments today are going to be really brief. One, because it's windy like Chicago, and it's never that windy, certainly not here in the city of El Monte. I do want to acknowledge also Jesus Gomez, our former city manager, who's in the back there. Let's give him a big round of applause. And also Anthony Duarte from the Hacienda La Monte School District. Thank you very much for being here. So this is, one of those projects that a lot of residents may not think is so important, like say a norms or some other type of groundbreaking that we have or grand opening of a hotel. But this is probably the single most important project that we've had in the last 20 years in this city, and it's important because it involves water quality. And it's important because it involves the healthy delivery of water for our residents. And I too want to say how grateful I am, Clark Mosley and all the folks that so long ago envisioned this for our city and started working on it. And as you see, projects of this caliber take a long time, from vision to planning to development to conclusion and to operation now. It's taken a long time. But for projects that are worthy, as this one was, that's what it takes. It takes a long-term commitment across city councils of different years, staff of different years. I know it's kind of funny, the person who's kept this on the forefront of my mind has been Dave Gondek. And it's exciting to see a lawyer get so excited about an infrastructure project. And no, seriously, he's captivated me and my imagination in terms of how important this was a while back ago, and he's persevered throughout, making sure this thing kept moving as well. Our public works director, who has done such a wonderful job in our community, not just on this issue, but on so many others, whether it's street repaving or parks or street safety. So we have an extraordinary team right now, and I'm just grateful. Whoa, hey, thank you. That was my. All right, whatever. I got the peanut gallery here going. That's the sign to cut off. No more. It's okay. It was one person, but then Anyway, I just want to say thank you to all of you that are here, for the Water Quality Authority as well, for everyone that had a piece in this. Thank you very much. We're very honored that you're here today, and thank you for helping us kick this day off. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll indeed find out if those balloons are timed. Mayor Pro Tem Gomez, we'd like to invite you up to say a few words. Thank you.
Just a few words, right? You're giving a politician a microphone. First, let me say hi to a friend of mine I saw out there on the water board, Mr. Chavez. How are you, sir? Thank you all really for being here. Thank you to everyone who's had a great part in this, a little part, all of us together. Another opportunity to bring success to the city. What more than clean, fresh, clean water to our community? You can't beat that. That's gold. Water is gold, and it always will be. But again, From me to you, thank you, God bless, and let's keep on working together for this city of El Monte and all our San Gabriel Valley cities. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to call up our council member, Jerry Velasco.
Okay. Hopefully I don't get the balloon. But I'll keep it as short as whatever attempt. I just want to say thank you to everyone for making this happen. We all know, I don't need to preach to a choir, we all know that we need water. Hopefully this is the beginning of many others that will be coming, not only for this city, but for other cities. And hopefully we'll be getting more government assistance. And the government programs will start coming back, because this is very much needed. I know that here in our city, where I live, there's a fact that sometimes we have to turn off the water in our whole neighborhood because we're having problems with the water. It's scary. So seeing this just gives you a hope that we are not going to be scared of lack of water. So thank you, and keep it coming. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call up Assembly Member Ed Chow.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor for me to be here, to be a part of this great ceremony. And I want to start off by congratulating the city of El Monte, and also I want to thank him for having the foresight in starting this program. And I want to thank him also for recognizing the need and the importance of clean water for all the residents in the city. Although we don't have a drought anymore, we still need to provide quality water and also preserve water. Projects like this really helps us with the goal of water independence and also will free us from our reliance on imported water. And this project is very impressive also because we're told that it has a design capacity of 750 gallons per minute. That's a lot of water, in fact. The ability to use this source of water would actually offset pumping for other wells, reducing the demand on the underground basin. In the legislature, we also recognize the need for quality water. In fact, I myself worked on a piece of legislation, AB 1043, a couple years ago, dealing with cost recovery. And under that bill, essentially, the Prop 84 grantees would be able to recover funds from polluters and be able to use the fund in the district where the funds are recovered. And you may remember also we passed a water bond, AB 1471, that was carried by Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon. He was an Assembly member and chair of the water part in the Assembly at the time. And many of you also remember that the measure was designed to authorize about $7 billion plus in obligation bonds, and it served many purposes. And many of you, in fact, in the audience, helped with that bond and also helped with my bill. And I see Ken Manning in the audience, and many of you folks. And the projects such as infrastructure projects, water improvement, groundwater storage, and water protection, water recycling were some of the things that were covered under the bond. So I want to thank you, all of you, again for helping out, and I'm very excited to be here. And I want to again thank the city of El Monte for their wonderful work. And at this time, I'm going to just recognize them and present them with a certificate. I know that my colleague, Assemblymember Rubio, will be speaking as well, but I want to acknowledge the work of the city. I'd like to ask the mayor to come on up so that I can present a certificate to him.
Thank you, Assemblymember Chow. At this time, I'd like to call up Assemblymember Blanca Rubio. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. I look out in the audience and see my old friends from the water, from my water days. This is my 21st year in office, so I met many of you 21 years ago, and you look great. But what I do recognize is that the issues that we had 21 years ago are still relevant today, and we're having the same issues. So I congratulate you on all of the work that you've done to bring this plant into fruition. There's a saying, Mark Twain, whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting. It's true today as it was 100 years ago. And I know that the bureaucracy that you had to go through to get this project off the ground was incredible, but your dedication and your tenacity to get this done is recognized. So I appreciate the opportunity again to be here with you today, and appreciate your work and your efforts on making sure that we do have reliable water. And thank you again. And I also have a certificate for the mayor and the city council. And I was brief. The balloon didn't have to stop me.
No, it didn't.
Okay, see this here. Here. All right. There we go. There we go.
Here in the city of Ahwahnee, we're spoiled with riches. We don't have one assembly member, we have two. So thank you both for being here. We really appreciate your attendance today.
Thank you. And as the mayor said, it is really an honor to have that kind of attendance. I do want to thank you all for coming out to this wonderful ceremony and your wonderful comments. Right now, I would ask for you to come up and join us for the ribbon cutting. We also have other certificates that will be presented one by one after the ribbon cutting, so if you could conduct it that way. And again, thank you all for coming out to this wonderful ceremony.